All right, we got a video on why hip-hop is dying.
Now, hip-hop isn't really dead, but the path the genre is on is leading to certain aspects of the genre dying. An important conversation right here, and if you appreciate a raw conversation like this, drop a like and don't be stingy. This has actually been on my mind for quite some time. I'm sure you might have a few things to say about it, and I want to start this conversation by taking a look at this article from Billboard. Essentially, they talk about why hip-hop has been on the decline on the charts. Although this is the article that I'm leading this video with.
My opinion, before he gets into it, I think it's going to be because I think, especially since like 2020 and COVID, a lot of artists have got a lot more experimental with their sound and not done what's like worked for them in the past. A lot of artists have like changed up their sound or just done something different in general. I'm thinking like Drake, like he, CLB was more, similar to what he had, but think of like Honestly Nevermind, right? Uzi with Pink Tape. Utopia is a little bit of a mix, right? But it's not like everything he's done in the past. It's not like Astral World, so I'd actually lean more towards experimental. I think a lot of artists are doing more experimental, not in like an incredible sound, like Yeezus experimental sound, like not that it's like jarring to the ear experimental, but just like a different sound than what they're usually doing, is what I think.
Conversation that I'm gonna have in this video is actually way deeper than
Yo! Hey, thank you for the sub, Sebs. I'm doing good.
How you been, bro? It's been a min low key.
How about you? Yo, I'm back in the city. How you doing? But yeah, no, I really think that. But I think we're moving back towards artists getting more in their regular bag, because with all the dogs, Drake says he's gonna go back to like old Drake. So I think hip hop is just like in a slow like little dip since COVID, but I think it'll pick back up. I think like Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, right? Like that was not really like Damn or Good Kid, Mad City. It wasn't really like T-Pab. Like T-Pab was not like the best charting album at all, but it's a classic, right? I think it was more kind of like that, it was him wanting to talk about the state of the world, and it was more of like an album that was like talking, trying to get a point across rather than banger after banger after banger, even though I think there are bangers on the album. But I think that's what a lot of artists want to do after COVID. So that's why I think it's
article is going to talk about. I'm simply going to start this convo with this article, and then I'll take it from there. With that being said, let's check out this article. As the halfway point of 2023 approaches, hip-hop has yet to grace the top of either the Billboard Hot 100 or the Billboard Top 200 Albums chart. By the beginning of last June, 2022 already boasted #1 albums from 6 different rappers: Gunna, Lil Durk, Tyler the Creator, Pusha T, Future, and Kendrick Lamar. Over on the Hot 100, even amidst Harry Styles, I don't listen to that. Historic 15-week As It Was. Actually, that's a good song. Yeah. Let me take that back.
As It Was.
Rap hits from Jack Harlow, First Class, and Future and Drake. Wait For You secured runs at #1 by last year's halfway mark. So this article, which a lot of y'all have been sending me, is essentially about how hip-hop hasn't been dominating the charts like it was in the past. So much to the point where half of the year is gone and there's yet a hip-hop album that's charted at #1 this year.
Utopia
now, that was until the Pink Tape, which I got some things to say about. That's another conversation. And that's kind of surprising now that I think about it.
And then
it's not something I even noticed, mostly because I don't put too much stock in what's hot on the charts, but obviously I pay attention to it and I see it.
I didn't think it was dropping.
Usually what the masses pay attention to the most. So this time last year, there are a bunch of #1 rap albums like the article mentioned. And then this year, we're kind of going through this dip where, that's not really happening. Now, just from some of the numbers I've been looking at and seeing, hip-hop is far from in danger, if you will. Overall, it is, after all, the fastest growing genre, and it's been like that for some time now. I think hip-hop, especially in the last decade, has just seen such an influx of listeners and revenue to the point where it is being prioritized in a lot of spaces because that's what's making the money, right? That's especially true for the record labels, which we're going to talk a lot about in this video. A lot of major record labels for the last couple years have made it their life mission to allocate a lot of their funds and attention to signing hip-hop acts specifically, and that's obviously the case because that's where the money is right now. Rappers also have a pretty fast fast turnover rate. And how that connects to the music industry is, out of let's say 100 rappers a record label signs, at least 80% of those rappers, statistically speaking, are going to fail. Now, failure not meaning that they won't be able to sustain their career and find some type of success in their own way. More so failure in terms of how a record label views it, because they sign you with the hopes of getting a return on that investment, right? Plain and simple, it's just business, and there's a cap and limit on how much of their resources can actually be allotted to every single act that gets signed. Now, the budget is there, but in a lot of ways it's not there, because these labels are signing so many people, and in the process they're losing a lot of money. However, they make it all back when they sign someone who makes up for all the other failed acts. So that 20% that either breaks even or succeeds is the reason why they're banking on signing so many people. And it's really a game of how many shots can we take, because at some point one of those shots is gonna go in. Not only that, one of those 100 shots is probably going to make up for all the other 99 people who we gave a record deal to and signed. So that's the way the industry's set up right now, period. And it's always been like that, but now what's happened is everything is about filling quotas. It's not how can we serve
the long albums. Yeah, like 28, 26 song albums. Yeah, that's by the label, and bro, and then slowed down, sped up, and it's sad that songs only blow up like big nowadays because of TikTok or some trend. Like there hasn't been a big. I agree, but also you gotta remember back in the day, bro, we still had Vine, and songs would be popular on Vine too. You know what I mean? So it's like, think of like Club Going Up on a Tuesday, right? Like that was like not as much, right? But still, I mean, Vine had a similar effect, and artists were still popping then. I don't think that TikTok's like ruining it, because look at Ice Spice. She's having a great career, new artist. She's solidified herself. She has tons of hits. People organically like her through TikTok. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I do think it's a thing in like some artists try to lean into it and it fails. But I don't know if it's necessarily a bad, but I do think that there are some songs nowadays, like I'm worried about this, like on the Quavo's album. Quavo just dropped his album, right? I'm worried about songs like Where Can I Start is incredible. But are people going to make TikTok dances to that? It's not even dances nowadays. It doesn't have to be a dance. It can be more of just like, you know, just like the song itself. Like I've seen like Oh You Went from Young Thug's album. Like people are starting to just post like day in the lives to that, which is interesting. But I'm like, okay, go ahead. Like really rich people like putting on their Gucci sneaks and like their watch and like getting in their Range Rover are like posting like a day in the life of like with Oh You Went. It's like, okay, yeah, that's a really rich sounding song. It's great. But at the same, so like that's a song where it's like people aren't doing dances to it, but it's not necessarily getting that big mainstream attention. So I don't know. And then same with Fuck You Mean. Not many people are really dancing to Fuck You Mean, but people like it. So I don't know. Like I think TikTok's doing fine. Cause like especially with Ice Spice. You don't like her, Sebs? Damn. And Yeet too. Like, people aren't dancing to Yeet, but they're making, like, fire basketball edits, you know?
This artist to become the greatest artist they can possibly become. It's how can we market this artist and make them appear as someone who's greater than what they actually are. Jay-Z said it the best.
I literally think that in the 2020s, the only two artists that have really come up that are, like... I don't know if I can see Yeet having a big career, but he's definitely solidified himself as, like, he's a mainstream artist, all right? But he's obviously not underground. But, like, I don't think... He can't, like, peak incredibly high, in my opinion. He's not, like, the next Travis Scott. Like, he'll never peak over, like, 50 million monthly listeners. He just doesn't... His sound just doesn't fit for that. You know what I mean? It's just not that widely applicable. But, you know, who's next to do that? Ice Spice is kind of doing that. She's doing incredible. So, I mean, that's one. But, I mean, look at the 2010s. Look at how many artists we had coming up during then. And that are huge. Now, to this day. Travis, J. Cole, Kendrick, right? Drake was, you know, the late O's. So, it's like, where are these same artists going to be coming from? We're not getting it at the same pace. I agree sincerely. It's just his sound. And I love it, but I don't think it can, like, he can't make like a really clean like sounding song like Travis. Like he can't make like an I know, you know? His voice and like his soundscape just doesn't allow for that. I just can't listen to Go Rapper. Really? Interesting, because Ice Spice and Nicki are like the two female rappers I really enjoy listening to.
One time Hove made a great point about how greatness actually takes time to develop, and these days no one wants to put in the time to reach that greatness, i.e. nobody wants to put in the time. And that's especially true for the labels, right? Major labels don't want to take the time to develop these artists because delayed gratification. The industry needs to make money now, like today, and that's at the expense of not only the artists but also the quality of the music. How can we market this music and artists in the quickest way possible to as many people as possible while spending the least amount of money as possible while making back the most amount of money?
So then if it flops, they just kick them to the curb? Is that what the problem is?
Now that right there is a problem, because with the money being the focal point, what do you think takes a back seat? That's right, the art. The last thing the industry wants to do now is to develop talent into super talent. The industry now wants to find subpar talent with no foundation, prop it up and make it look more grand than it actually is, and market that talent to give off the perception of talent that has been developed. Because developing talent not only takes time, it takes money and it takes resources. The shortcut to that is what they're doing right now. They're discovering an artist who has the potential to appear as a star. The music might even be...
Yeah, no, so a lot of artists took time to develop. Think of Travis with Al Faro. Like that was his first project. Yeah, it's not on Spotify, right? And that doesn't really have many amazing songs on it, right? But they gave him time to develop, specifically Kanye, right? Or think of J. Cole. J. Cole, he was around in like the late O's. Like he was on the Blueprint 3, and he didn't have like a banger album until fucking like 2011 or 2012, right? Same with like Kendrick. Like Overly Dedicated isn't a massive album, but that was his first one, you know? Or that I can see on Spotify. So, but look at them now. They got their time. So maybe it's too much pressure of have your good debut or we don't fuck with you no more. You know what I mean? Is that what it is?
Amazing, but the foundation might be shaky. But it don't matter as long as money can be made. It don't matter as long as we can keep this artist in a position to be seen. Because at some point, due to the nature of constantly getting exposed to something, we as human beings, we eventually find something that we like about the very thing we're getting exposed to. This is marketing 101. If you can put something in front of people time and time and time again, a percentage of those people will start to find good aspects of whatever it is that's being marketed towards them.
Yeet, Ice Spice, both artists that were like, I can't lie. When I listened to Ice Spice, and when I remember hearing Yeet, I'm like, oh my god, he's the rapper that made that. This song was already turned, but here's a bell, and someone's like, yeah, he's dropping a new project, and I'm like, oh, you know that guy, and then I'm like, okay, you know, maybe I'll like listen to a couple more, right? It takes time for people to even get into them. It's really hard to get into an artist who's trying to do something new and like it right away. It just doesn't happen. Yeah, Cardi too. Bro, I remember, I love Cardi now. This was me in like freshman year of high school. I remember freshman year of high school was when I was first getting into hip hop. And I was like a Logic dick rider. Okay, I completely disown that. I don't even listen to him anymore, right? But he came to my state of Maine and I saw him in concert. And I'm like, I like hip-hop, and I listened to him, and then eventually I kicked him to the curb sophomore year, started listening to, like, Kanye and Drake and Uzi and Cardi, right? But I remember there was a kid in my art class, and he's like, why do you like Logic so much? I'm like, oh, well, I saw him perform, and he's pretty cool. And he's like, well, I like Playboi Carti. And this was 2018 before Dial It dropped, okay? And I remember, I'm like, bro, he only has one project out. How can you dick ride him? And look at me now, you know? I think Self-Titled's a great project. I listened to like 2 songs. I'm like, bro, this is ass, right? It takes time. It takes time to get into anyone. Whole lot of Red Effect. People are overusing that term nowadays, I think, but no. Whole lot of Red is not ass, though. But I thought you were talking about the Ice Spice image when you said it was you freshman year. No. Yeah, it takes time.
Ice Spice, who I put on a thumbnail, is a good example of this. Bless her lovely little heart. I have nothing negative to say about the young woman's character, but, as an artist and as a brand, she's a great example of this exposure theory we're discussing. Because she came in the game with this song called Munch.
Yep.
The song was blowing up and going viral on social media about a year ago, and I vividly remember how the first 2 weeks it was going up, everybody had something negative to say about it.
Yup.
A couple weeks passed and people went from clowning the song to being indifferent to the song to liking the song to loving the song to
Yup.
then becoming a fan of Ice Spice. How in?
1,000,000% true. I remember when she was like at that one fucking, like, Drake did a performance or whatever, and she was there, and I remember I'm like, oh my god, Drake is just flying this girl out, right? Kick her to the curb. Like, why is Drake being seen with this girl, right? She just has that one Munch song that no one really likes. Like, that's really low for Drake. And then now I'm like, bro, like, you know, like, everyone didn't like that song initially. They're like, oh my god, look at her hair, ha ha ha, right? Like, but nah, she has proved herself.
Interesting. I'm not saying that she's universally loved, quite the opposite actually, but I like Ice Spice
I
more
think a
now
lot
that
of
I've been
people like
exposed to her presence in comparison to when she initially came out. So who's to blame for this, you might ask? Well,
I think most of the time, rappers' best songs usually get streams. It depends.
labels, because they're controlling 90% of the music that surfaces.
I think rollouts, though, have a big thing to do with it. If you have an album that goes #1, usually people work their way towards the back of the track list within a couple weeks. Usually. But it depends. It depends how the album's marketed, how long it is. I think, like, albums like Donda, especially, like, mainstream album, songs like Come to Life are, like, one of Kanye's best songs ever, and no one even talks about it. So, I'm actually indifferent. I'd say I'm mixed on that. Yeah, I take back saying yes. I'm kind of mixed on it. There's some cases where it's like it takes time for people to get to the back of the track list and really listen to it, because not everyone listens to albums like the first week they come out even. And then some people listen to it, word of mouth gets around, and then that song kicks up on the charts. I've seen it happen. I'm a big chart watcher, but like, it doesn't always.
The top. One of the bigger reasons why hip-hop is able to dominate the charts in the first place has to do with the fact that hip-hop is being prioritized over a lot of other genres by the labels, i.e. these records that eventually go #1 have a lot of money behind them, because getting your record spun on all these major radio stations actually costs money, and so the quality of the music has taken a back seat, because the priority is, how can we make back the money on this album we're investing all these resources into? And with that being the case, who do you think controls the kind of music that actually gets released?
And not everyone listens to the whole project, just the ones that have the most listens or best features. Yup, exactly, right? Like, if you look at Pink Tape. Look at Pink Tape, for example. Track listing and features bring a whole... Look, A has 29 million streams. I want anyone on the face of planet Earth to look at me with a straight face and tell me that A is better than Suicide Doors. It's not. Okay? Look at me and tell me that A is better than Mama I'm Sorry or All Alone. Two pretty good songs. Or Fire Alarm. Or even Pluto to Mars is a generally liked song, but people aren't really like, it's not streaming incredibly well, right? I wouldn't say bad, but yeah, like people like, oh my god, look at Of Course, bro. Of Course is Uzi's best song. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's better than EXO Tour Life. It's better than any song he's ever made. 7 million. That is awful. Even Zoom. Bro, I've seen leaks. I've seen YouTube uploads of Zoom with more listens than that. They've probably been taken down by now, but and this one has 408. I mean, I've seen them on Spotify pop up or on SoundCloud, right? But yeah, mostly SoundCloud. I wonder if they're still up. They probably took it down now that the song's officially out, right? But I'm not logged. Can I look? Zoom Uzi leak. They have them up. So this one has almost 7 mil, right? and I've seen them on Spotify, but they get taken down quicker. But yeah, it's like so many people should have listened to Zoom In, of course, but they just didn't. So yeah, that's also the thing is people, like, labels will shove these long ass albums down because they want that fast cash, but in the long run, it's not getting the most amount of streams. If Pink Tape was, if they cut down the fat on Pink Tape, I'm talking fat as in Crush 'Em, Died and Came Back. A lot of songs just suffer from poor mixing. They have really good ideas, but yeah, I like Pink Tape, but yeah, it could have been split up. Maybe save some of the songs for another album, but it's just, oh my god, dude, yeah, Life of the Party. Literally the song of 2021. Life of the Party, Andre 3000 delivers one of the best fucking verses ever. Only 39 mil. This is a top 10 Kanye song, Hi Carter, how you doing? I do think that the leaked version is way better. Kanye's verse on this version is not my favorite. But yeah, so that. Utopia's doing good. So yeah, you want to see the stream? Utopia's not doing too bad. It's getting streamed. I think Utopia was no, if people see more than 20 songs, it's not gonna wanna. People lose interest, and especially putting the features out afterwards gave it some. So Utopia's been treated pretty fairly. I think the songs that deserve to get love got love on this. So Utopia's doing fine, but other projects, yeah, definitely suffer from people just not listening to it all the way through and seeing the best ones. I wish Apple Music listens counted in that. It's deceiving. Yeah, Apple Music. I think Apple Music, this is a whole other conversation. I think they have a huge scheme of fake streams. Bro, fucking Rilo Rodriguez has had he's number 4 on the Apple Music charts for his album for the past couple weeks. How many people are actually listening to him? Dude, there's no these are all right numbers. But bro, same with Rod Wave. But bro, you can't tell me that people aren't listening to 50 more hip hop albums more than this. You know what I mean? So how is this number 4? Are you telling me Apple Music just has that different of a listening base? It doesn't make sense. That is not my okay. Heather Carter, how's your night the night before last night? Okay. I haven't heard the leaked version yet of what? Life of the Party? Oh my god, it's so good. I remember you saying, Mom, I'm sorry, we'll get a bill of streams in 2 weeks ago. That's crazy, consider. Did I say a bill? I thought Mom, I'm sorry would have been a hit. I did think it, and it's not. It's not my favorite song on Pink Tape, but I really think if it was marketed right, Mama, I'm sorry, really could have been a bigger hit. I think the first couple songs, the track listing, Uzi went really experimental and with Amped and fucking Crush 'Em, people, mainstream fans tuned out right then and there, bonus track that also kills the streams. Yep. Pink Tape album of the year, you think, Carter? Okay. I got Utopia over it, but that's alright. Okay. YB kind of gets blackballed. He gets playlisted though. The Start of Hyena is really good. I trust Spotify. Yeah. I think Apple Music, they hide the streams because there's a lot of botting, bro. A lot. So fishy. It makes no sense. Rilo Rodriguez maybe gets fucking each of his songs might get 75,000 listens a day on Spotify, and you're telling me that the album as a whole gets more listens than fucking even any Juice WRLD album. People listen to these so much. Still to this day, you're telling me that he's charting over that? He's number 4 out of all. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Literally every song you shuffle, a song that Apple Music picks for you, you get the same artist and same songs. Yeah, I don't use Apple Music much, but yeah, that is fishy. It was fun. Nice, Carter. Glad you're alive. Hi, Dom. I'm doing good. Okay,
we gotta get back. The artist. And in a lot of ways, and this is the scary part, the artist is now like the supporting opinion
That
to
too,
the main
sincerely.
opinion.
Yeah, music
And the main
videos,
opinion is the label. They're really calling all the shots, and the artist is merely involved in support
Carter?
of that shot. So artists have literally,
Okay,
and we're going to touch on this in a second, but rappers and artists universally have submitted their power to these corporations in hopes of becoming this big success. What does this exactly mean? Well, let's keep on talking.
Oh, okay.
When you look at them white kids with Raiders hats on, it's the white folks getting pimped. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm making their future. I'm writing down their curriculum. Right now, what I write in my album today, when it comes out in 2 months, that's what white kids is doing. So who really is getting pimped?
Oh. I think
See,
Utopia.
the
Yeah,
I
I'm sorry.
in
I
rap
love Uzi, but Pink Tape
industry
is
at
not
one
as...
point used to be silent. There was a time when we had rappers like Pac, who was in the industry but never let the industry take the one thing he had, which was his authentic voice. Despite being a part of the industry, he never conformed to the standards of it. He kept it real outside and inside of the music, and that came with a lot of pushback. Labels didn't actually want Tupac in his purest form. They wanted a Pac they could mold into whatever it is they wanted to create him into, and he knew this. Pac on several occasions spoke about what he didn't like about labels and the industry. This is something that was depicted on the movie, All Eyes on Me. Before Pac signed to Interscope Records, he had this meeting with 2 label executives who just didn't understand what he was trying to do with his music. What happened specifically was they didn't like the idea of him releasing the song, Brenda's Got a Baby. Now that's a classic record, but obviously the music industry's focus is entertaining people and not emotionally moving people.
Not...
We do have a couple thoughts, however.
I don't know about any more.
Maybe a couple of the tracks that just hold off on for now.
Like what?
Brenda's Got a Baby.
So you know who I am, and you know my music, and you think that I would actually scrap that song?
Well, to be blunt, Brenda's Got a Baby is depressing.
Now in the end, Pac and Interscope started seeing eye to eye, but that was only when Tupac was able to vocalize to the label executives why this record was so important to release. The only thing they see is, can this be marketed as it is? Pac, however, like the genius that he was, flipped it on him and said, I am the market. This is new, this is fresh, and this record is actually going to impact people on an emotional level. And he was right, because Brenda's Got a Baby came out on October 20, 1991, and here I am talking about it 31 years later. The only reason why Tupac was able to get his way is because he actually believed in his way so much to the point that he was willing to walk away. Rappers these days are not willing to walk away from the industry. They're walking towards the industry, already being willing to conform.
Yeah, I mean, I think that obviously, like, the point of, like, emotional music, I mean, we get a lot of emotional music now, but I think a lot of artists do conform to their labels. Look at fucking track lists, bro, and how long they are, and what labels, you know, where they want the songs on it, and the fucking obviously sped up shit, slowed down shit. What about Trippy?
Perform and sacrifice their authenticity in order to join ship, just so they can
Or
have
you're
this
just sad that he's selling 30K for a sweet.
big infrastructure backing them up, i.e. a record label. And so what happens is the artists have given their power away to the industry because they want to make it in this. There's still that 20% who've maintained their power, but the majority gives it up. And so that has an effect on hip-hop across the board, because the bulk of the rappers in the game follow suit. And how does that affect the genre? Well, the quality diminishes and the music is not as pure as it could be, because not only are we dropping a bunch now to satisfy the quotas of the industry, but the majority of what we're dropping has no soul, because you gave your soul to be in this industry. You conformed, and that directly has a negative effect on the actual quality, because now we're not connecting with the rapper in his authentic form. We're connecting with a malleable version of the rapper that the industry has created. So the place the music is being dropped from is an inauthentic place.
I want to know
it's
his
coming from the
examples of
wrong
this,
place, because so many of our artists have decided to conform to the industry standard. And since the industry standard is we want to make a bunch of money, are you on the same page? The 80% rapper says, yes, I want to make a bunch of money. What exactly do you need me to do? If you say jump, 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 I will jump, jump, jump. If you say sit, sit down, I will sit, sit down. If you say bark, 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 I will roof, 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 bark, bark, bark. And then there's that 20% who says, yes, I want to make a bunch of money, but what comes with making this money. These are the artists who have similar spirits to guys like Kendrick or J. Cole.
Yeah.
See, these guys have made so much money, it's not even funny, and they did it righteously. They didn't conform. That's only because they knew their value before the industry saw value in them. So many rappers wait for the industry to co-sign their value before they co-sign themselves. Approaching it from that perspective, when the industry does co-sign you, since the validation is what you are always chasing, you're willing to give it all away for chump change. And that's what happens when you're chasing the validation of the industry. That's how they get you. Most rappers just don't know their intrinsic value as artists.
It's not as easy to say like, oh my god, this song was a hit. Can you make more like it? Right? From their perspective, like the label's saying that, right, to the artist. From the artist's perspective, they're like, yeah. Right? Like, it's like, oh, yeah, that was a hit. I want more hits. Right? But, like, that's where you go down that slippery slope of, like, bro, that one song was special because it was the only song that sounded like that. Right? Or that, like, that was raw and genuine. Now we're getting a McDonald's version. It's just like, you know, okay, I'm trying to replicate that sound, or I think Lil Baby did go down that path. That's a great example. Yeah, like his most recent album was not it. I think that a lot of artists, they try to like replicate that hit, and it's like, it's just not, no. I think like Quavo did a great job last night with a lot of those. Like he really had like he used like safer flows and like not his most classic bag of ad-libs, but like production wise picked amazing beats and did really good on them and flowed really, really well, you know, and they were varied pretty well. I think a lot of artists just try to get like a generic YouTube ass sounding beat, or like, you know what I mean? That too, sincerely.
Benefits who? The labels. A person who doesn't know their value is more likely to get taken advantage of. They're more likely to mold themselves after the expectations of the outside world, which that really goes for anything, but especially if you want to make it in the rap industry and the music industry, period. We're so quick to conform, it's literally chipping away at our beloved genre that is hip-hop. Hip-hop has been infiltrated beyond anything I've seen, man, and the saddest part is, with the way things are set up right now, there's absolutely no going back. Record labels got too much power. The average rapper is willing to give away their soul for a $20,000 advance. Shit, even $10K to be fair. And the music is not only lacking in quality, but it's also lacking in heart. It's lacking in conscious. 80% of rappers are sleepwalking through the industry. They're not even conscious. They've been sleepwalking through this shit, following the lead of the standard that's been set in place for them, not realizing they actually have the power to set the standard. But for that to happen, it goes back to what I said.
I think, okay, here's what I'm thinking though. Frank Ocean is also a genius. Yeah, Frank Ocean's great. I think that for us to get out of this cycle, someone's got to break it. I don't think that hip-hop naturally breaks its way out of this cycle. I don't know what y'all think, but there's got to be someone that comes along that can, like, do something so different that it's industry changing and that people follow and make careers off of. All right, I know, like, you guys are going to roll your eyes at this. I think the someone that has done that in the past was Kanye. Okay, he talked about it a lot, like in the early 2000s and late 90s, like everyone was trying to have a gangster image, and then he came along and said, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna rap about any violence. I'm not gonna rap about killing anyone or selling drugs or anything. I'm gonna talk about real shit that people go through in their everyday life, you know? And look at how many artists got to follow in that blueprint. Look at like J. Cole, you know, Kendrick. They're talking about more like politically motivated things. I think it opened up the lane a lot. What I mean by different, I mean, I just said like that's a lot. Like 50 Cent was like the big guy, right, back in like the early 2000s, but he was doing that music that was like very like violence based or like club based, right, where Kanye was trying to make it more emotionally attached. And I think that a lot of artists got to follow Drake as well. in that footprint. And some people even did it better than Kanye. But I think that he really changed that shift with the college dropout, or changed that narrative. He shifted it. So Kendrick tried and failed, not because of the art itself, but because they don't want to listen to real shit. What do you mean he failed?
Earlier, giving your unique power away and conforming to the
expand.
industry
Hi, Ferrari.
agenda,
34
which
hour
is make
stream.
dollar signs,
typo.
when really we should be putting the art first and not be so thirsty for them to let us inside the door, right? The average rapper right now is like that famished dog who's dying to eat that piece of meat because he's starving. Once they see that you're fiending for that key, like a dope fiend is fiending for that next hit of crack, they're going to hypnotize you and make you hyper-focus on a key, dangle it in front of you.
Same shit with like the rage sound in the 20s. I think. Wait, to be fair, Drake had unfair advantage. MF already knew how. Yeah. And then I think he really just like took a good sound that like, you know, the direction that hip hop was going in, that Kanye kind of like introduced. But yeah, no, I think. Wait, what was I saying? I think that rage music and like. I think that has been something that a lot of people, like he's saying in the video, like a key dangling, like a lot of artists like, oh my God, I want to go on this sound. It's hot. I think Yeat kind of did that, but he put it in a different limelight than what everyone else was doing. I think that's why he stood out more. But yeah, I mean, like that's kind of the blueprint Yeat followed. Like he saw that key dangling and he took it.
So
but
you lose sight of what really matters, which is your authentic voice in its purest form.
I don't
For
think
you
rage
to
is a
keep your
future,
authentic
though, but-
voice, you can't look at getting inside the club as the
Like,
end all be all.
big future, like I said, like what Kanye did.
So, the quicker artists realize that you're
I
the
like
club the industry is trying to have access to, the quicker we're going to see a shift in the genre for the greater good. Also, stop giving your unique power away by waiting for the industry to validate you. If we can get that back, okay, if we can just get that in check, I think that will disrupt the whole genre in a good way, and in return, we're going to be able to speak life into the culture in ways we couldn't even imagine. Now, just some additional thoughts on this topic right here. The thing about hip-hop now, and just music in general now, the music industry, the last thing the industry wants now is for artists to take their time with music, because the industry is a machine that has to keep on getting fed, and if that nutrition stops, the quality of the nutrition doesn't matter. If it stops, the industry is going to stop. And so artists have conformed to that standard that was set by the industry. And why do artists conform? Well, artists conform because they see other people conforming. And the majority of the industry, I mean, just majority of people in general are sheep, right? So if an industry is changing from the inside out, what's going to happen is anyone who's inside that industry, most people, 80%, 90% of people, they're going to conform because they see other people conform. And so we have this cycle of monkey see, monkey do, and then in the end, the quality of the music ends up taking a hit, like a huge hit. I mean, think about it like this. Do you think people are actually listening to albums now?
I agree sincerely.
Are people actually listening to albums now? What happened when Kendrick, one of the greatest rappers of this fucking generation, dropped his last project? What happened? People's attention spans are goldfish status now. People couldn't even pay attention to the theme of the project.
For sure. I assume he's gonna. I just want to put in my tidbit. I assume he's gonna expand. But like, dude, I think one of the best songs of last year was Savior. This song was immaculate. It has a good amount of streams, 88 mil. Like, obviously, people listen to it, but not a giant mainstream hit. It's not like an absolute, like, banger. But, like, the shit he was talking about on this song summarizes, like, a lot of what he was saying on the album about how, like, a lot of people look at him as like, it's so good, right? But no discussion around it, right? Like, you're deadass one of the few content creators I know who doesn't look annoyed listening to albums. I have the attention span to listen to a whole album. I mean, the people who saw my Trippie Redd review, the haters on that comment section would disagree. But that was just genuinely not a good album in my opinion. But yeah, thank you. I mean, I think like, dude, you're doing yourself a disservice. Good albums are like a book, bro. Okay? You can't start a book and get halfway and be like, yeah, that was a shit book. Bro, you don't even know the ending. Like, what? What are you saying, right? Like, if you listen to this album and you didn't get to Savior, like, I think this is, like, the best song on the album, and by far, in my opinion. Obviously, everyone's going to have different opinions. N95 is a really more, like, easy to get along to, you know, hype up song. But, like, yeah, like, this song is incredible, okay? I know you do, Slushies, and it's an incredible album. And that's what we're talking about. It's like a lot of people just don't want to get to the end. Or get all the way through. They'll listen to the first 3 songs. And, I mean, look at it here. Like, this got 62, right? So, also, I think, yeah, Die Hard, so good. This should be at a Billy. And I don't think that's because of track listing necessarily. But I think it's like people want that instant gratification when they get into an album. That's what I think. I saw, like, a clip of, like, Clicks listening to Utopia. And he was, like, halfway through, and he's like, bro, this shit's so mid. It's like, are we listening to the same album? You know what I mean? Mother I Sober is beautiful. It's not, like, a banger song, but it is beautiful. We Cry Together. Bro, the music video for that. We Cry... 70 mil? That's, like, actually really high. That's really high. Higher than I think. I think people really didn't get around to the second half. But yeah, so it's just, you know, people looking for features, that instant gratification. I don't know what can, like, persuade the consumer base into getting back into albums like this, right? Like, why are people not getting into albums like this? Like, this isn't like To Pimp a Butterfly, where To Pimp a Butterfly is, like, super jazzy, you know, has a lot of, like, spoken parts, and, you know, it is, like, very poetic. It's not, but, like, this album does both. I think this album's incredible. It's like a blend of Damn and To Pimp a Butterfly. I think there's no reason why any of these songs couldn't be big, mainstream, banger-sounding songs. I think a lot of them have that mainstream sound. Why people aren't getting into it, I don't know. I think it's, like, instant gratification. I think it's with like the first couple songs. I think it's rollout. I think it's public image. I don't. Mr. Morale, the song is pretty good too. Yup, 100% agree. So, you know, I don't have the answer, but, like, listening to the music itself, I see no difference in quality. Right? Why can't this album have the numbers of Damn? I don't know. I mean, I think Damn is a bit more bangery. I'd say. I'll give it that much, but it shouldn't be this much of a distance away in streams. It shouldn't be. Like, the second half, only 2 of these songs have 100 mil. When you're, 10 songs in. Okay? Now look at Damn. Right? Damn's a lot shorter. But, I mean, yeah, all these songs have 100 mil. So it's like, I don't know. Hey, Winchester. So... I couldn't tell you, but Mirror is good. It's a great album, you know. So what can bring that back? I don't have the answers, but you blame it on Whole Lotta Red for what? Bro, look at that. Yeah, beat tags.
Couldn't even pay.
2 to 3 minute songs. Yeah, like Fuck You Mean, where it's the same thing the entire way through. Like, Fuck You Mean's a good song, but, like, yeah, people want that same sound the entire song. They don't want the songs to say anything. They don't want the song to actually, like, evolve and progress. So, spit it.
Pay attention to what he was saying in that album. You don't hear a lot of music fans talking about it. A lot of hip hop fans are not talking about that project.
They're
Why?
not.
It went against the grain.
Yeah.
I think that album by Kendrick was almost like a test to hip hop. Can y'all digest this? Let me give you guys this. I'm gonna give you guys this.
It really, like, I don't care. Like, I don't want people to say, like, oh my god, bro, Kendrick Lamar is mainstream. Bro, 88 million streams on a song is so mainstream. That got its... No. I'm here to say, you gotta put shit in proportion. This didn't get recognition. People weren't talking about this like they should have been. It's simple as that. Everything, you gotta look at everything in proportion. How do you see the streams? Desktop app. For Spotify. Right? It's just, in proportion, it didn't get recognition.
This body of work. And I'm gonna see if you guys can
It's not
digest
even
it.
like
Not just that. I'm gonna see if you guys are gonna be willing to try to digest it. And what happened? What Jay-Z say? Do you fools listen to music or do you just skim through it? Clearly, a lot of y'all motherfuckers are skimming through music now. I don't think people are really listening like they used to, and that's the biggest thing. The listener is also changing. It's not just that the
And I don't want anyone to say like, I don't want anyone to say like, oh my god, it's just TikTok and lower attention spans. People listen to full songs. I don't think it has anything to do with attention spans. Because as someone who is glued to TikTok 24/7, like, I have a really low attention span. I can make it through albums. It's about appreciating shit that's in front of you. Like, I don't know. I don't have all the answers. But I don't think it's an attention span thing. I think that's an easy scapegoat is say, TikTok ruined attention span. People just want, you know, McDonald's drive-through, one sound. Maybe, but it might be a mix of both. But like, pure, like, people can only listen to something for 10 seconds before they lose their interest. I don't think that holds up in music. Maybe, yeah, it's a combination of a lot of things. I don't think it's like, yeah, like, oh my god, our span has gone from 8 seconds to 4 seconds before we lose our attention. I don't think that is, like, the direct span is the biggest issue there. But I think maybe overall as a whole, getting through entire albums, maybe we'll
industry's
see.
changing.
I'm talking on the reactor side, like MFs aren't gonna cry. Yeah, I agree, but I mean there aren't that many albums that are like incredibly emotional. But I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like when I listened to Quavo's album last night, like there were a couple songs on there that were incredibly emotional. Like I'm not in my bed ready to curl up and cry when I'm sitting in my chair. You know, I like everything's a different environment. So yeah, not everyone can digest an emotional album right away, but I don't think that's necessarily the issue. People should still be able to recognize a good emotional song when they listen to it. So, okay,
Changing. It's how the listener is receiving the music.
Exactly, sincerely.
That's also changing. And so we're going through this behavioral change in the industry from inside of it and then outside of it. So the people making the music are changing their authentic ways of creating the music, like the artists, right, in hip-hop and just the music industry in general, but specifically hip-hop. The artist is changing. The artist is letting themselves get molded into what the industry wants them to be, and so they create a body of work that fits right in line with that. Like, honestly, I just don't think people really want to hear albums now. People don't want to listen to
Kendrick
albums now.
gotten
And
his
then
fucking Grammy.
we're sitting here acting surprised why the quality of the music getting dropped is so subpar. It's subpar because we're not listening. We're not listening with our ears and our minds and our hearts. The music is kind of getting played and we're not really hearing what the artist is saying. But the biggest issue is a lot of artists are not even trying to say anything now. They're just saying a bunch of words. There's no purpose behind the words. There's no intention. There's no spirit behind the words. So of course it's gonna fall on deaf ears. You're not making anything worth for me to listen to. And that's not all artists. I'm saying just as a whole in general, right? Obviously I'm talking about the mainstream and I'm talking about the things that are coming to the surface, because we got to keep in mind, even though there's a lot of artists, there's a lot of artists that are not conforming. Most artists are gonna conform. Most artists are always gonna conform because that's the easy thing, and because doing it your own way actually takes a lot of heart, and it takes a different kind of spirit to have the confidence to do it your way. Most people don't have that lion spirit. They just don't have it. There's so much money in the music, and so the meaning of the words have taken a back seat. Anyway, that's all I have to say for this particular topic. By the way, I recorded this video like about a month ago, and I'm happy I sat on it because, you know, I just wanted to add that in. But I'm curious what you have to say about this. Any thoughts on it? Give me your thoughts, and yeah. Catch you on the next one. I am out. Peace.
Yeah, that was a really good video. I agree with a lot that was said there, but yeah, definitely someone's got to shift it. I don't think anyone's gonna have the answer of like, oh yeah, rap fans just need to listen to it this way and everything will be solved. Like, you can't just take someone, like, I know people who, like, even friends of mine who I'm like, yo, listen to Pink Tape, and they're like, I got to like Amped and it sucked, so I just stopped listening. It's like, what can I tell them that will completely change their mindset? I don't think there's gonna be like a magic bullet. I think what happens is gonna be over time, an artist has to drop something that wakes people up. I think it'll come down to someone making that body of work, or of art, you know, that will make people open their eyes, right? I don't know. Maybe it'll take like an insane collab album. I don't know who can do it, because like Kendrick's huge, and it didn't work, you know. Like he said, it was like a test of like, can we digest it, and we didn't, right? So like, what can do that? I don't know. Exactly, sincerely, yeah. I don't think the album's incredible. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of songs are platinum, but yeah, Astroworld should have won. But yeah, I don't think there's one answer. I don't think the consumers can answer it. I think it'll take an artist for hip hop to revive.